have a torch, huh?
That's right. And people must respect it.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. Look at this.
Sculpture being unveiled in Boston Common called the Embrace. It was inspired by a photo of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta I. King after he'd been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. What's striking to me about it is, of all of the images that you could have selected, you chose this one.
When they met here, they were people full of dreams, full of ambition, and full of hope. And they chose to actually commit those dreams to one another and to society. And that day was like proof that they'd done what it was all worth it.
That's right. The start of the dream is a love story in Boston. King and Scott were students and met on a blind date in 1951. They soon became inseparable and started their journey together toward a cause larger than themselves. For the sculpture, artist Hank Willis Thomas stripped away everything but the embrace.
Not everyone has arms and hands.
But we all do have a face, homie. We all have a face. So my question is, where is theirs?
Right, but all of us have been embraced. Right, all of us know.
Yes, by those with the body and the face.
Embraced.
This work is a collaboration between Thomas and the Mass Design Group. It beat out 125 other design proposals.
For real, Boston, out of 125 proposals, this is the best you could do to honor Martin and Coretta? Really?
The sculpture sits on a plaza made up of diamond-shaped pieces of granite designed to honor the African-American quilt-making tradition. All around, plaques featuring the names of local Boston civil rights heroes. When you saw it for the first time, fully installed here.
I'm sorry, I'm truly not trying to be rude, but right here, it looks like a hand on ass to me. That is what it looks like. What about you?
What was your reaction?
Oh, I cried like a baby. I cried like a baby.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Amari Paris Jeffries is the executive director of Embrace Boston, which is behind the project. Boston has had a, shall we say, long and complicated relationship with race. How do we hope that this monument helps change that story?
I don't know who needs to hear this, but politicians, statues, nothing's going to end racism. People are going to want to have to end racism. People will have to choose to not want to judge somebody by the color of their skin, okay? And judge them by the content of their character. People will have to choose this. Not a statue, not legislation. Nothing is going to stop racism. People need to choose not to be hateful. People need to teach their children not to be hateful. That is how you end racism.
The location of the memorial is just steps away from where Dr. King gave a speech before 22,000 people in 1965. Today, Martin Luther King III and his wife, Andrea Waters King, will be there for the unveiling. When you saw the renderings for the first time, what did you think?
I thought, this is a powerful image.
Tell the truth.
Sometimes we are afraid to embrace. But for Dad and Mom to show us what embracing is, to have a manifestation of what they consistently did, it's that it really is about the manifestation of love. And Dad had, obviously, a love for his wife and family, but he had a love for humanity, and so did Mom.
It's also a reminder of the legendary couple's early years in Boston.
It wasn't very long after they were married and after they left Boston and settled in Montgomery, and then from there until the end of his life in 1968, it was a very public life.
When people come and they experience this, what do you want them to take away?
Is this mess right here that we're upset about? Like,
What the fuck?
That experience.
I want them to take away the responsibility to legacy of the Kings, who were devoted to unconditional love, to community, to humanity, and to hope.
It really was just a beautiful piece of public art there in Boston that I got to see a few days ago. But it's also the image that they selected, and Martin Luther King III talked about this as well. The picture that they selected, there's so many pictures of Martin Luther King that we've seen over the years, but that one where he's smiling, we don't really see Dr. King smiling as much. And if you also notice, Coretta King's holding him up. His weight is on her shoulders. So it's very important to Hank the artist to portray that part of the King story as well.
if the goal was to signify her holding him up and the love that they shared, I do feel that the artist should have did better, especially for $10 million.
Waste of money, that's what it is.